everybody. Today, Honey is going to continue reading The Beast and the Bethany, written by Jack Maggot Phillips and illustrated by Isabella Folaf. Part 12, The Beast and the Bethany. The beast smashed the door open with the moon-sized bowling ball and used a 100-kilometer weight and bag of bricks to push the other obstacles to one side. It made the piano play another loud, nasty tune as it waddled into the room. "Umph," it said as it sniffed the air greedily. "There's a delicious smell of death about this place." It followed its nostrils and noticed that the scent was coming from the fresh corpse of Ebenezer. Poor Ebenezer, it's such a pity. He's one of the better servants I've had over the past thousands of years. "It's not a pity, it's a murder," said Bethany. "If you had given him the portion, he would still be alive." The beast turned his attention to Bethany. It licked its lips when it saw how big she had grown. My, Ebenezer fed you well," it said in its soft, cedary voice. "You're as fat and juicy as a gingerbread strawberry." "You still look like a big glob of mayonnaise," said Bethany. "Ignorant brat! Can mayonnaise do this?" said the breast. It wiggled and hummed and vomited out a gum. No, and I wouldn't want it to. It would totally ruin my chips," answered Bethany. "Also, if I wanted one of those, I could just order one from the garden center." "Foolish child! Can your precious garden center deliver this?" It wriggled and hummed and vomited out of a thumb-sized triangular bottle containing a spectacular-looking blue liquid. The sight made Bethany raise her eyebrows. "This is the elixir of life, a magical potion containing all the vitamins needed for youth, life, beauty, and shiny hair. It's so powerful, even I can't control it, like I do with the piano and all the other things," said the beast, mildly pleased with himself. It paused to think for a moment. "I wonder whether it would bring Ebenezer back. It's going to be such a pain finding someone else to bring me my meals." "It's a bit," Bethany began. "Impressive, mind-boggling, applause-worthy." The beast looked most smug. "No, I was going to say that it's a bit better than a garden center, most extraordinary than a spoonful of mayonnaise." "No, frankly, it's a bit small," Bethany said. The mood hadn't exactly been toasty, but now it dropped the other few dozen degrees. The beast was not one of those creatures who was responsive of feedback. "Small?" asked the beast. "Sorry, did you say the magical age defying, life-defining potion was small?" "I actually said a bit small," said Bethany. "I'll have to know that I gave you the potion to Ebenezer and he kept him young and beautiful and shiny-haired for an entire year," roared the beast. "And I can make as much of it as I like." The beast proved its point by wriggling and humming and vomiting again. The end result was another triangular blue liquid-filled bottle, which the size of an entire hand. "That one contains enough liquid to keep someone young and beautiful and shiny-haired for an entire decade," boasted the beast. Bethany shrugged. She pretended not to be impressed. The beast vomited again, this time producing a triangular bottle size of an entire arm, one large enough to hold 70 years' worth of potion doses. "That's more like it," said Bethany. She could see the portion more clearly now that it was a bigger bottle. It swirled around with an electric energy and seemed to have a mind of its own. The beast sat down because it was rather tired out by all the waddling and vomiting. "Come and take a closer look, if you like," said the beast. Bethany took a step forward to the beast's three black eyes sparkled with excitement. She stopped and then took a step back. "I know what you're trying to do," she said. The excitement in the beast's eyes were now replaced with irritation. "I'm not trying to give you a better look at these magical portions," he said. "No, you're trying to get me to look closer so you can eat me," she replied. The beast laughed, a slittery fat laugh, which lasted for longer than it should have, and included about 17 hee-hees, a dozen ha-has, and 2 long ho-ho-hos. At the end of the performance, it asked, "Eat you? What would you give the idea like that? Ebenezer told me everything." The irritation was replaced with indignation. Its eyes had been able to speak, and they would have done so far in furry. That rotten, treacherous tweet, I'm glad he's dead. It's like the cat all over again. That stupid fool, said the beast. It's not like the cat at all. We're friends, said Bethany. In fact, Ebenezer told me that I was the first real friend he ever had. What? The beast felt betrayed by Ebenezer. I gave him presents and he brought me food. Isn't that what friendship's about? Friendship's about so much more than that, you stupid blob. That's about bucket list and scotch muffin sandwiches. It's about not putting toes under your friend's pillow, and it's about... You seem to have confused me for someone who cares, said the beast. It waved its tiny hands, and the puddling fridges came into the room and stopped Bethany from running away. They opened and shut their doors in a menacing manner, whilst the piano began another horrible song. I'm going to eat you, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I don't wanna stop you, said Bethany. I wanna make a deal. The beast laughed again, but this time the hee ha 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 and hoo-hoos were real. He was amused by Bethany's comment, and he decided to let her live a little longer so that it could enjoy hearing her suggestion. I'm gonna let you in me. In return, I want you to try and bring Ebenezer back to life, said Bethany. You're going to let me eat you? Laughed the beast. I have you surrendered. There's no way you can escape me or stop feeding you. Anyway, there's no guarantee I potion will work. I'll never try using it to bring somebody back to life before. If you don't try and save Ebenezer, I'll make it tricky for you to eat me. I'll run, I duck, and I jump. You and the reporting fidgets will have to waddle as fast as you can to keep up with me. It will be exhausting, and it will be messy. Surely you'd rather eat your first child in the delicious bite? The child grimaced, and he realized Bethany was right. He followed Ebenezer around to restrain her. It was going to require a lot of effort to get her into his belly. It also thought that the taste of self-sacrifice might add an intriguing flavor to the dish. There's the deal, said Bethany. Ebenezer brought me into the house, and now you're going to eat me. It's only fair you try and help him alive. Bethany stepped forward so that she was now 2 steps away from the beast's mouth. Its nostril filled with excitement, and his black, thick gray globs of dribble oozed out of the corners of his mouth. Do you have any idea you're offering? It asked. Yes, it's all pretty clear to me, said Bethany. I don't think so. I don't think you have the faintest idea what's going to happen. Well, I know you're going to eat me, and I think that just about covers it. Oh, there's so much worse than that. Let me explain, he said. First, I will drag you into my belly with the tongues, and then I'll start lashing. There's no telling what I might eat first. It might be your bottom or one of your toes. There's only one thing that's certain. You'll die in great pain, and in the end, the only thing left will be a pound of mushy bones. Now, do you think you want to step into my mouth? I don't, she said, stepping another step forward. I'm going this because I want to save Ebenezer. The beast was happy to hear this. Fine, that's a deal, said the beast. I will eat you, and then, if by miracle the potion brings Ebenezer to life, I will let him live. He's more useful to me than alive anyway. Bethany got her way. Now she was within a single step of becoming the beast's next feast. She hesitated. Hurry up, said the beast. No longer you leave it, the less likely the potion will work. Bethany knew what she was going to do to save Ebenezer. She put her hands behind the bread and took a step forward. Bon appetit, said Beast. He spread his dangling mouth with wide open. Bethany pulled the trumpet out of the back of her trousers and threw it into the beast's throat. She was to find out exactly what it meant to be allergic to trumpets. The effect was immediate. The beast tried to spit it out, but it was already too late. Its mouth snapped shut. There was fear and fury in its three black eyes, and steam poured out of its nostrils. A great churning sound came from its belly, and its skin stretched to a breaking point. Then it shrank smaller and smaller, like a deflating balloon, and it wiggled uncomfortably from side to side. After 10 seconds, it was sized on a bag of rubbish, and then 10 seconds more, it was no bigger than a football. The piano stopped playing its song, and the fridge switched off. It was fascinating sight, but Bethany didn't have time to enjoy it. She picked up the nearest bottle of potion this morning and raced over to Ebenezer. She opened his mouth and poured every drop down his throat. For a few moments, nothing happened, and Bethany worried she had done something wrong, or that she had arrived too late. But then Ebenezer came to life with a cough, and as he coughed, the wrinkles started disappearing from his face, and the color returned to his hair. After a few more coughs, he was strong enough to stand up. He blinked at Bethany, utterly confused. What happened? He asked. Trumpets and ears, answered Bethany, which made him more confused. How about the beast? He asked. Good point, she answered. Bethany turned around to see at the beast, but there was no sign of it. Did you kill it? Said Ebenezer. No idea, answered Bethany. They walked over to where the beast had been sitting and looked closely on the ground. The beast was there and just still alive. Now it had shrunk to the size of a worm. Ebenezer bent down and picked it up by one of its legs. It had 3 black eyes, 2 tongues, but everything was minuscule. It was shouting angrily in a voice which wasn't loud enough for either of them to hear. What do we do with it now? Asked Bethany. The final meal. The bird keeper was wearing his most serious outfit. It was a black suit and a white shirt and a loosely tied gray tie. He stood behind the till next to a handwritten sign which read "Bird Tours for Sale. Most reasonable prices." I thought you said you don't do tours, asked Bethany. Yeah, Mr. Tweezer inspired me. Customers have been floating through them doors since I started doing them. Still, I got out of the blooming horizon, so he said, whilst the exotic bird sang a beautiful song in the background. The song was a cheery, toe-tapping number, which the bird had kept singing for a few hours. Bethany and the bird keeper were happy to pass the time listening to it, whilst they waited for Ebenezer to park the car. He came in a few months later. He looked young and beautiful. His hair was immensely shiny. You have another haircut, haven't you, Mr. Tweezer? Said the bookkeeper. This one looks like much better. Thank you. Ebenezer nodded aside. I thought you didn't do tours, he asked. Well, I do now, answered the bookkeeper, and business is booming. Why didn't you dress up like when you give us our tour? Asked Bethany. It isn't for the tour, said the bookkeeper. It's to mark a very sad occasion. You're holding Patrick's funeral today. Ebenezer realized that the beautiful song in the shop reminded him of Patrick. It sounds a bit like Cam, said Ebenezer. Did it record an album before what happened? No, that's Claudette singing. She's a cousin of Patrick's, said the bird keeper. She came to visit this morning, and I had to tell her the bad news. So, in the true Winterlorian tradition, she began the funeral singing immediately. Ebenezer poked his head around the back of the shop and saw that Claudette doesn't sound a bit like Patrick. She looked a bit like him, too. Her chest was purple and the towels were green, however. She was herder, just a teeny bit rounder than her cousin. That song a bit too happy for funeral, don't you think? Said Bethany. Maybe a little, but she's a wonderful singer, said Ebenezer. The 3 of them stood listening to the song for a few moments. The music transported each of them to different places in their heads. The bird keeper was the first one to break the lull in the conversation because he had listened to the song for a while because he was a businessman who didn't like to leave customers standing aimlessly in the shop. Was there anything particular we wanted? He asked. Yes, actually, we're looking for began Ebenezer. The Ebenezer's birthday today, interrupted Bethany. Do you have any birthday discount? The bird keeper flinched at the use of the word discount. He was struck by a wonderful idea. Do we have better than discount? We give our most special, most loyal customers presents on their birthday, he said. The bird keeper turned to the back of the shop and Ebenezer stopped him. Sorry, but I don't want the whole season for my birthday, he said. Thanks for the offer, but we're not actually here to buy a bird. The bird keeper turned back to face Bethany and Ebenezer. He was unhappy. Mr. Tweezer, you know it's a bird shop, and yet that's the third time that you have come in and ain't wanted a bird, he said. First you wanted a kit, then you wanted a tour, and what then? Any glue? The meaning of life? A hippo bleeding totemus? It's not too much trouble. We should like a cage. The most powerful one you've got, please, said Ebenezer. Well, I guess that's all right, grumbled the bird keeper. So it's for a strong creature, is it? One of the strongest, said Ebenezer. As strong and dangerous as a baby elephant in the midst of the temper tantrum. We're durably needing a complex cage for that then. I'll have to used to the house kicking crosswordies if I ever have one in. Sounds perfect, said Ebenezer. You don't come cheap mine, said the beast with glee in his eyes. Money is not an issue, said Ebenezer. Those are my 5 favorite words, said the bird keeper. He went to the back and returned a few months later carrying a large cage with iron bars and oversized padlock. What do you think? Terribly sorry to be a pain, but you're not looking what you're looking for, answered Ebenezer. Do you have any smaller ones? Perhaps one before the spaces between the birds as well? The bird keeper humphed. It wasn't easy to drag the plymouth cage all the way from the back. You got any pictures of the creature? It would be good to know what kind of size we're talking about. We got the creature we saw, said Bethany excitedly. She fished in her pocket and produced a beast, who was still no larger than the size of a finger. The bird-keeper was not amused. He was no great fan of practical jokes, especially if it involved the customer making purchase. Mr. Tweezer, this may be all funny to you, but it ain't to me. I'm trying to run a business here, not a joke shop, he said. It's not a joke. This creature is one of the deadliest beings in the world, explained Ebenezer. The bird-keeper shrugged. They went to the back of the fish another cage. She decided there was no point in complaining if a customer wanted to make such a useless purchase. Ebenezer looked at the teeny tiny beast. It still felt afraid of it. What's the matter? Asked Bethany. I was thinking about what's going to happen when I run out of the potion, he said. I know I'm going to be tempted to fatten the beast up again. You have enough to last me 80 years. I think that's still fine, but 80 years go past so fast when you have 512. We're just going to try to make most of everyone. We'll have to start going on to your bucket list as well as mine, he said, and we'll be there to help you stay good. No more feeding the beast while I'm around. Ebenezer smiled, and so did Bethany. Neither of them really know what it took to be good, but both of them were determined to help each other become better people. The moment was interrupted by the beast beating into Bethany's finger. Ouch! She yelled, dropping the beast to the floor. I'm bleeding! Ooh, does look a bit nasty, said Ebenezer. The beast grew, so it was not size of an even larger one. The bird keeper returned from the back of the shop, carrying a metal box pierced with a horse, which was no bigger than a matchbox. Do you want a plaster or a small bandage? Asked Ebenezer. This isn't a permanency, it's a bird shop. How many bleeding times do I have to tell you? Asked the bird keeper. Bethany moved a 1,000 note from her sack and wrapped it against her finger to stop bleeding. The bird keeper's eyes widened. Ebenezer picked up the beast by one of his feet and placed it on the counter. He took a long, hard stare at the matchbox case and wondered whether it was strong enough. This is definitely the beast you've got? Asked Ebenezer. For the size you're looking for, yeah, but it's definitely strong enough to hold a worm, answered the bird keeper. It's not a worm, it's one of the deadliest creatures in the universe. Well, it's strong enough to hold one of those too. The beautiful song came to an end. Credit to greater listeners. Like all the red heroine purple-breasted parrots, she was exceptionally well-mannered. How do you do? She said, offering wing shakes to both Bethany and Ebenezer. I do hope my singing didn't bother you. Are you kidding? That was awesome, enthused Bethany. You're too kind, said Clara. I only wish that I could sing it for a happier occasion. It's for my recently deceased cousin, you see. Oh, I'm sorry, said Ebenezer. Don't be. It's not at first, he said Clara. It is actually, admitted Ebenezer. He died whilst in my care. I wouldn't want to tell you a mortal honor. I really am. I'm just so sorry. Purple tears filled Clara's tears. She brushed them away with one of her wings. It was dashed brave to tell me the truth, she said, tapping Ebenezer on the shoulder. Thank you. Please don't thank me. It makes me feel even worse. No one is perfect, and everyone has to die. Be sorry for the mistakes you make, and remember the friends who are lost. But don't do any more. It's a downright waste to life to spend too much time living on the past. Patrick wouldn't want that, but whenever you did, I forgive you. If you want to honor Patrick's memory, then you can do it by bringing some joy into the world. It was the most moving speech of any of them had ever heard from a bird. Can I ask you a question? Asked Bethany. She didn't want for an answer. If you're so sad about Patrick's death, why did you sing such a happy song? Because it's a song about Patrick's life, not his death. And his life was a very happy one. And this is thought about the song of his life would sound like. It's certainly been very long, but there was no guarantee that it would be a happy or an interesting one. He vowed to try and change this by living the next 80 years of his life in a far more interesting manner. Have you any plans for the afternoon? Asked Candidate. If not, I would like to sing you a few more songs from Patrick's life. There's a particularly amusing tale from the time he went on the tour, as the warm-up act for ABBA, if you'd like to hear it. Ebenezer and Bethany were staying in the orphanage while their Ebenezer and Bethany were staying at the orphanage while the ceilings were being rebuilt. When most of replacement was sent for Miss Fiddly, they had made plans to celebrate Ebenezer's birthday by holding a grand luncheon with all the children. But Clara's proposal sounded far more interesting. What a marvelous idea, said Ebenezer. Why don't you come back to the orphanage with us? You'll have a larger audience for your singing. Yeah, my friend Jeffrey is the best with talking parrots, as did Bethany enthusiastically. Claudette was interrupted by her own round stomach. You made sort of a meaning so. Is that the beginning of the song? Asked Ebenezer. No, it's the beginning of hunger, asked Claudette. Then to the bird keeper. I don't suppose you have a snack or some morsel of something you can nibble upon? No, I don't suppose I do, said the bird keeper. He had put good money on this selection of bird feed, but he had no intention of handing it out for free. By this point, Bethany's hand was stopped bleeding. She unrolled a bloody 1,000 note from her finger and offered it to the bird keeper. Will this be enough to get her some food? She asked. Blimey, yes, spurted the bird keeper. Excellent, said Claudette. I'll start with the snack on the counter. Claudette stooped down and gobbled up it in one bite. She swallowed a funny face afterward. That's the strangest worm I've ever eaten, she said. Why did it taste like boiled cabbage? It wasn't a worm, said Bethany, starting to laugh. No, it wasn't, said Ebenezer, bursting in a fit of giggles with her. That was the deadliest creature in the universe.